Hey guys, Andrew here at Verb. In this video, we're gonna be talking about the Lovevery Playkits. Now, this is not sponsored. I'm not being paid by the brand to make this video, but what I wanna do is break down what these Playkits are, whether or not it's a fit for you and your family, and if it's worth the cost because they're not cheap. So Lovevery itself is an Idaho-based brand that develops toys and products that are rooted in neuroscience research and methods from Montessori and Waldorf. But most notably, the Montessori element is the main component that really piques the interests of a lot of parents. Now, I can do a whole video on like what's Montessori, but the best way I can describe it is it really is just a school of thought centered around nurturing each child's spiritual and creative individuality, which sounds super meta, but it's actually not. The point is really just to go beyond focusing on a child's cognitive development and really consider like the psychological and physical development while leaning more toward like a less is more approach and I guess just like limiting tech and screens to encourage imagination, right? You want to allow your kids to develop their own focus, create their own worlds, and basically, you know, just be better at problem solving. So Lovevery offers what they call stage-based play kits, which they have from birth up through year 4, and the kit that we're gonna be highlighting in this video is the Enthusiast Kit, which was made for months 28, 29, and 30, which is where our son currently falls. In the box, it came with a variety of different play items, including a picnic setup, a peg puzzle, a weigh scale and pails, a squeegee set, a glue station, a board book, and then the play guide. Now, the guide itself is really important since that's what walks you through what each toy is meant to achieve and how to introduce it, as well as like different milestones to consider. So now that you kind of have a general idea of what's in each kit, I want to get into my experience with this because, well, to start, I never really knew where my kids fared or, you know, like where they should be at versus like the national average, you know, like what are the right milestones? We could tell that like with Henry, our first, he always seemed a bit ahead of the curve, whereas our youngest, Colin, the complete opposite. That kind of made me intimidated by these kits because I wasn't sure whether or not he was gonna click with everything that was in the kit or he would like get it right away. And I was like, I don't know, can he do this? And really, you know, I didn't give him enough credit, nor did I really trust him to learn without a lot of hand holding, but the toys in the kit, they did challenge him and they made him think. I was really surprised to see how much Colin actually enjoyed the kit, you know, because I thought there was going to be a lot more involvement on my part where I would be playing with him a bunch. And, you know, we did. There was a little bit of play with him as well as beside him. I think it's called like parallel play. But he was really able to play by himself and discover how each component worked. And then it kind of hit me. I'm like, this is what the whole Montessori thing is. Like, I'm Montessoriing him right now. Like, I'm doing it, we're doing it. Like, he's able to play and learn on his own. Now, it also dawned on me that there were some things in the kit that wouldn't land right away. Like, Colin wasn't supposed to get it on the first try, which is good. Like the peg thing, like he didn't pick that up right away. And it told me like, okay, here's a motor skill and like a thinking element here that he's gonna get to revisit and work on a bunch. And that's the point of these kits, is to develop the thinking needed for said toy or activity. It was made to be an age-appropriate challenge. So in a sense, you want them to open up the kit and kind of like, I don't really know what to do here, because for that quarter, for the next 3 months, the point is to develop the right skills so that they can play with it. And that's actually what I came to appreciate with these kits. Like, we didn't know what was age appropriate. Like, over time, we spent a lot of money on toys thinking that it was a good fit for them when it didn't get played with as we thought it was because it wasn't age appropriate for them. Now, I didn't realize it at the time, but these kits were developed by like real experts in neuroscience and psychology, and there was a lot of research that went into each kit, and it wasn't until like we played with it that I understood the thought and attention that was put into making these. But now that brings me to price, right? For kits before 12 months, it works out to about $80 a kit, and then like 13 months and up, it's $120 a kit, which altogether figures to be about $40 a month. Now, again, I'm not being paid by the brand here. I'm sharing my raw experience, but I do have to play that like influencer game and say that if this is something that you want, buying through the link down below in the description does help support this channel. So please consider doing that. And while you're down there, if you don't mind, please hit that like button. Now let's talk about value. I feel like you always pay a premium for like Montessori items. It's sort of like the pink tax, which if you don't know what it is, look it up. But basically, there always seems to be a price hike on anything labeled Montessori. And I often question, like, am I getting the right return on investment here? Is it gonna be used? Like buying the nugget couch, that was like another example of something that was like labeled Montessori, but it seemed excessively expensive, you know? So when you're considering Lovevery, when I was considering Lovevery, I'm, you know, like, what am I really paying for here other than toys that are like sustainably sourced wood and that have like baby safe plastics? Like all these things are going into your questioning of buying it. And ultimately the real question is it worth it? I feel like if this world of Montessori really isn't your thing, then it's probably not gonna be worth it to you, honestly. Like it'll just be another set of things to like add to your collection of playroom crap and just, you know, just pile onto the noise. If this isn't your philosophy or style, but you still hear like, oh, Lovevery Playkits, they're great, you should get it, you know? Again, if this really isn't your philosophy or style, I have a hard time saying like, go get it, because I don't know if it's gonna land the way that it was intended. Now, if you are making a conscious effort to organize your playroom in like a minimalistic way and you adhere to, you know, a Montessori style environment, then I would say that this is definitely worth it, because I think the real value that you're paying for isn't the toys, but rather the thinking and the guidance for good development and a plan to hit certain milestones. Really, this guide, I think, is the unspoken hero of the box, and it's not even for the kids. This is for the parents. I roughhouse a lot with my boys, and I feel like I always need to be stimulating them to get their brain going. But the cool thing about these play kits in this guide is that it offers you a bunch of insights and knowledge on how they can play and learn without so much of your physical involvement. And it's a really cool thing. No, so I get that the pricing is a bit aggressive for each of these play kits, but I really do think that it's worth it. Also, if you were to buy some of these things individually, it can be pricey. Like if you look at just like these two comparable toys on Amazon that are in the enthusiast kit, these two things alone are 50 bucks. So sometimes the price of a kit can actually net out or be cheaper. So wrapping things up here, the one thing that I was cognizant of before coming into this review was that I wasn't Montessori enough. Because like from a 1,000-foot view, this whole world of like, you know, Montessori parenting, it can feel like it's just like this crunchy, vegan, culty group type thing that would look down on my boys who play with like Hot Wheels and ABC Mouse on a tablet. And I don't mean for that to be offensive to anyone, right? That was just kind of like my general viewpoint of all this. And honestly, I was intimidated by all of it. But when I really opened up to understand like what was inside of this box, what it had to offer, and what this method was all about, I learned that there was a lot more in here than some designer looking toys. Like these truly have a purpose. This method can have a wonderful impact on your child's development. And I think Lovevery, I think they did a great job here. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button down there. It looks like a thumbs up. For more videos and reviews for young families, please consider subscribing to this channel. Thanks for watching this video and come back for the next one. God bless. Later.